Today's episode is sponsored by Zencaster. So, a few years ago, I started a podcast, and one of my podcasting friends told me they record through Zencaster. I guest starred on his show. It was super easy to join through the invite link. I just plugged in my microphone and we recorded. When I listened to the episode, the sound quality was chef's kiss. I knew going forward I had to use Zencaster to record episodes for my own show. It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencaster. Log in using your browser and start recording a high quality podcast right away. Record studio quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencaster's multi layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. If you have thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. With Zencaster's all in one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencaster.com/pricing and use my code FranksFiction, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all of my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Hello, my name is Frank DeLuzio, and welcome to Thrillers and Tea, the podcast where I discuss thriller stories and other book related topics. This is episode 10. We are double digits finally. And we are going to cover today Kate Corain and everything that has been going on with the author lately. But first, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into the show, and I wanted to shout out every country that's been tuning in so far in order of prevalence. There are so many countries, and I am so thankful for that. So we are starting off with the United States, then we have Australia, the United Kingdom, Canada, the Philippines, India, Ireland, Norway, Ecuador, Germany, Brazil, New Zealand, Argentina, Greece, Spain, Guatemala, France, Austria, Israel, Sweden, Kenya, Bulgaria, Morocco, Egypt, Georgia, the country, not the state, Nigeria, Trinidad, the Dominican Republic, South Africa, and Switzerland. Thank you so much again. Before we sip today's tea, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Franks_fiction. I also have a book club on the Fable app under the same name, Thrillers and Tea. The books that we're reading in the book club will be the same books covered on the show. And who knows, I may read some of your comments. If you want to join in on the fun, all links will be in the show notes. And if you haven't noticed already in the club, you can already see what March's book is going to be. And that is going to be No One Can Know by Kate Alice Marshall. I am so excited to dig into this book. So far, I've only read, I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 chapters so far, but I already am feeling a little hooked in. So I hope that that keeps going. And if you want to read that book along with us, you can go ahead and join there. Or we could also just talk in private messages as well. It's nice to have everything happen, like all the discussions happen within that group. It keeps it a little bit more organized. I try my best to be organized. But yes, that will be March's book for the book club, and that is going to be the episode on the very last Thursday of this month. I'm so excited to dig into that. So, who is Kate Corain? Well, Kate Corain is a writer and artist from Georgia. I'm not going to say where she resides now. I don't want to be doxing people or anything like that. But she was set to publish her debut novel, Crown of Starlight, on May 14th with Del Rey Books, which is actually under Penguin Random House. Corain also had a book agent, Rebecca Potus. She had a 2-book distribution deal with Daphne Press and overall had an amazing opportunity in her hands. A brief description of the book. So Corain identified Crown of Starlight as a snarky, sexy, slow burn, space opera romp That is a lot. That is just a lot for me to handle in one take. Like if someone was just throwing all of those different things at me, I'm like, whoa. But the author said that was the book at its core, and that this was a story about love, sacrifice, sexual agency, embracing our identity as a form of rebellion against oppression, and the difficult decisions that we all make between facing our fears or losing the chance to become who we're meant to be. So, Kate received the opportunity of a lifetime in June of 2023. In December, however, it was revealed that Kate had been review bombing other authors who were set to release their novels around the same time as her. These same accounts all were praising Corain's book, which hadn't officially been released yet. One thing I also noticed was that there were some ARC reviewers for the book, and they really enjoyed it, most of them. So it was a novel that most likely would have had a lot of success from merit alone. What made all this review bombing more disturbing was that almost all of the books Corain had given 1-star reviews to were written by authors of color. Something that I may not have emphasized enough in February's book tea episode is that having different voices in the book world is so important. So Shiron J. Zhao, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. They are the author of Iron Widow and a bunch of other books. That author posted a tweet back in December calling out Kate without saying their name about the review bombing. I also want to share a little bit of side tea that had been sent to me. It was some information on Zhao being anti-Semitic, but maybe that'll be an episode in the future that I cover. After that tweet was released, author Bethany Baptiste, she released a similar tweet, and she's one of the authors who received a negative review from Kate. Before everything became public, Kate Corain was being called out in a private Slack group with other debut authors, and Corain was denying the accusations. Kate claimed she didn't leave the reviews, but her friend Lily did. Kate met Lily in some sort of Star Wars fan fiction group, and Kate ended up sharing screenshots of the messages between her and Lily on Discord with this group. And for all of you today, I will be reenacting some of those messages. So here we go. So I'll be using 2 different voices for Lily and Kate. Lily's voice will kind of be like this, and Kate's voice will be like this. Rating books high is against the rules? No, but making fake accounts to rate them high it's artificially inflating a book's reviews. That's against the rules. Eek face. Oh, I didn't realize you could get in trouble. What? Please don't get mad. I made a couple accounts. I think that was me. What? Why? The other night... Sorry. The other night when you were worrying that your book would get overshown by bigger books at your publisher, I wanted to help. So I made a couple accounts to rate your book high. I'm sorry, I really didn't think that it would be a problem. What the fuck? Why? I don't need fake reviews to help me. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I really didn't think it would hurt. I was trying to be nice. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. I don't need you to stop in and try to be nice with this. Do you have any idea how patronizing that is? How humiliating? How much damage you could have done? I'm going to be sick. Literally going to vomit. Someone just posted the screenshot in my writing group. Please, for the love of God, tell me you weren't actually stupid enough to use the same accounts that you made to boost me to bomb other people. Well, I didn't think anyone would notice. I'm literally going to be sick. I need to email my agent. This could literally cost me my fucking career. I don't even know what to say. This is such a violation of my trust and our friendship. I'm so sorry, Kate. I'm really sorry. I didn't think it would hurt. Jubilfully blabla org. She wrote gibberish. I will stop there for now. I hope you enjoyed that. Just a little side note too, as I'm recording this episode, my lovely dog Poe, he is on the other couch near me. And the look that he's giving me right now is just saying, why do I put up with this man? So anyway, after reading the messages between them, to me, It was not only pathetic how unrealistic the conversation was between those two people. I mean, come on, Kate, you're a writer. You know how to write convincing dialogue. But to me, it's just so disturbing and almost psychotic in a way, the lengths that someone will go to hide the truth instead of just taking accountability. Holes in the Lily story, they started appearing because on Reddit, that fan group for the Star Wars, the members there, they were familiar with Kate, but claimed there was no Lily in that group. Also, another hole was that the timestamps between Kate and Lily, they weren't adding up. So, for example, Kate's message would say that it came at today, 8:10 p.m., and then Lily's message would say yesterday at 8:10 p.m. when they were supposed to be talking in real time together. Another hole was no one could find Lily on Discord by searching her screen name either. And the last piece of evidence was that on Goodreads, there would be lists. So for anyone that uses Goodreads, I don't know if you noticed this. It took me the longest time to notice this, but when you go onto a book, it will usually say it's part of like these types of lists and articles or like certain voting polls. So what really came off as extremely suspicious was that every single list that Kate's book was a part of, all of those fake accounts voted for Kate's book. And it was like 37 lists or groups or whatever. So then Shiran J. Zhao posts 31 pages of evidence about the review bombing. And what I'm about to say is strictly opinion, but I believe Zhao did that to be petty. If you watch the TikToks they posted about the situation, it didn't come off as genuine help for the authors affected for me. I sensed this like joy behind being messy. But once that was all out there, Rebecca POTUS, who's Kate's agent, she severed ties with the author. And then shortly after, Penguin, Del Rey Books, and Daphne Press in the UK stopped publishing plans to release Corain's book. I searched high and low for these reviews and fake accounts, and it took me forever to find any remnants of these reviews. I think either Goodreads took them down or Kate herself, or maybe a mix of both. I did eventually find some links to some of the profiles, and they're all inactive. One crazy obvious thing that I saw with some of these screenshots of the one-star reviews was that they were word for word the same as other accounts. So here were a couple of screenshot reviews written by Kate Corain. This was legitimately awful, and everyone who liked it should be ashamed of themselves. Wow, that is mean and bold. Another review, I can't believe Del Rey, which is the same publishing company as Kate's, spent $500,000 on this when they could have spent $500,000 on anything else. Sorry, not sorry. And you know what's also really messed up about this? Two of Corain's author friends, they were also targeted by the review bombing, and one of them has been friends with Kate for years. I just could never do that to one of my friends, and especially someone that you're friends with in the industry where it's like, we should be bringing each other up. We should be supporting each other. So one day later, Kate came clean with a lengthy apology they posted on Twitter and Instagram, and I will reenact this apology as well. Dear friends, family, readers, fellow authors, and members of the publishing community, since June 2022, I've been fighting a losing battle against depression, alcoholism, and substance abuse, the full scope of which I've hidden from everyone in my life out of shame and a misguided belief that with the right medicine or enough therapy, I could beat it. In late November 2023, I started a new medication, and on December 2nd of 2023, I suffered a complete psychological breakdown. During this time, I created roughly 6 profiles on Goodreads, and along with 2 profiles I made during a similar but shorter breakdown in 2022, I boasted the rating of my book, bombed the ratings of several fellow debut authors, and left reviews that ranged from kind of mean to downright abusive. 2 of those authors, Molly X. Chain and Danielle Jensen, are fellow Day Ray authors. Camila Cole and Bethany Baptiste just happened to be on the wrong Goodreads list at the wrong time. I felt no ill will towards any of them. It was just my fear about how my book would be received running out of control. My memories of this are extremely fuzzy, so it's possible there are a couple of other authors. Please know I take full ownership of what I did to you as well. I'm sorrier than you'll ever know. There's nothing I can say to erase what I did to you. When I was slapped on the wrist by Goodreads and vague tweeted by a handful of people, I panicked that my secret was about to get out, and rather than taking responsibility for my actions, I tried to cover my tracks. Still, in the middle of this breakdown, I made up the world's sloppiest chat with a non-existent friend who was supposed to blame, and sent fake apologies for the actions of said friend, which only made things worse. I betrayed the confidence of my agent, my pub team, my readers, and my friends, and betrayed my own deeply held values. I also dragged one of my dearest friends and fellow debut authors into the mud with me when she came to my defense. I'll leave her name out of this, so as not to pull her in even deeper. However, if she wishes to come forward, I'll apologize to her publicly as well. Let me be extremely clear. While I might not have been sober or of sound mind during this time, I accept responsibility for the pain and suffering I caused, and my delay in posting. This is due to spending the last few days offline while going through withdrawal, as I sobered up enough to be brutally honest with you and myself. I know some of you won't forgive me, and I recognize that you're not required to. No one ever wants to be judged by their worst actions, but that's not always up to us. I'll be reaching out to everyone directly impacted, though that may take time, since I'm checking into intensive psychiatric care and rehab facility, which means I'll be mostly off social media, as I need to give 100% to the program if I want to stick. All I can do going forward is to try to live my life in a way that shows you these aren't empty words. Yours, with so much love and the utmost heartbreak, Kate Corain. So the first thought that I had with her apology is that I feel like she's trying to be the victim of the pain. Like, if I was talking to her directly, I would say, you are acting like the victim of the pain you caused. And I feel like instead of taking that accountability, you are blaming certain substances for completely taking over your actions. And there was an update that she had in February about all this. I'll dig a little bit more into my thoughts on that later. But another problem that I see in this like sort of apology that she posted to the world was when she said that two of these authors were on the wrong list at the wrong time. No, how about you didn't have to attack them in the first place? So the authors that were targeted by these reviews, I personally want to shout out their books and let all of you listening to go check out those books for yourselves. So we have The Poisons We Drink by Bethany Baptiste, So Let Them Burn by Camila Cole, To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chain, Voyage of the Damned by Frances White, Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright, and the Gods of Hunger series by R.M. Virtues. Other authors that I found that were also affected were Thea Guzan, Katrina Kwan, Akure Phoenix, Danielle Jensen, and Hannah Lee. This comment from Redditor user Absolutely Horrendous was my exact thoughts when I learned about this situation. So they said, I'm genuinely astonished at the level of decision-making involved here. You've got a deal to get a novel published. That's the fucking dream scenario right there. You've done what thousands of people try and fail to do, and then you do something as ridiculous and unnecessary as review bombing other debut authors just to get an edge and potentially jeopardize your entire career as an author before it's even really started. Talk about fumbling the bag. Goddamn. So like I said earlier, there was a recent update from Kate Corain, and she ended up doing an interview with the Daily Beast and explaining that she is not racist. She claimed that it was an awful coincidence that the majority of books were by writers of color. Personally, for me, there's one reason why it's really difficult for me to accept that at all, and it's because of the end of her conversation with Lily, who she admitted herself was fake. And in the Discord, one of those last messages that Lily said was, in quote, and now everyone will think you're racist, bitch. This shows that you acknowledge that this type of behavior could be seen as having racial motivation behind it. And Crane also claimed in June 2023, she tried a new ADHD medication and said that was when she created her first Goodreads account and wrote negative reviews against her will. The reviews started back in April, Kate. The tearing down of authors who put so much time and energy into their creations by someone who felt so insecure and jealous started back in April before you claim that medications caused you to do what I believe is calculating behaviors. Corinne also mentioned that they were abusing alcohol and taking higher dosages than they were supposed to be taking with their medications. But I think everyone, including Kate, could agree that mental health is crucial to nurture. We need to take care of ourselves, not only physically, but mentally as well. Some of our actions come with consequences, and what we do moving forward is very important. Kate stated that she went to a rehab, and that's a great start to help with any addiction related issues Kate was facing. But one problem that I have with what she continues to do is shift blame onto medication or alcohol for why she left the negative reviews. Yes, medications and alcohol can alter the brain, but I feel like there's an irrationalness behind the choices we make under certain substances. These actions to me, they come off as targeted, specific, and calculated. Sometimes it's better to say, I fucked up and I'm going to do better moving forward. Corinne also mentioned in the newer interview the ideation of taking her own life, and I would never wish that on anyone. I don't think anyone truly wants that to happen, but people, especially those you affected, are looking for accountability. I'm honestly starting to tear up just thinking about all of this because I put myself in the position of those other authors and just like you're trying your best to be successful in such a difficult industry. Kate, I really hope during all this time that you really looked at yourself. I believe that you can call someone out on what you feel is wrong while also not wishing harm on them. I will end the episode with some words Kate Corain shared that I do agree with. She said, I can't totally undo the damage that has been done. I understand I have a privilege over writers of color who have been set back after being review bombed, and that white people within the publishing industry need to do more to uplift voices of color and be cognizant of the struggles they endure. Kind of a sad note to end on, but I do hope that you enjoyed this episode. Let me know your thoughts by commenting on the Spotify episode and or reviewing the podcast wherever you listen. If you want to stay up to date on the podcast and other book content, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Franks_fiction. Also, let me know some book recommendations, whether it's from the authors that I mentioned earlier that were affected by all this, or authors that I didn't name that you think are really great in general. You can message me through social media or by emailing me at franksfiction@yahoo.com. I hope you have a thrilling day, and bye.